Let's create our first bake. First, let's make sure our object is visible in the render. Start the boundary tool. Once in the menu you can see some information. Select the mesh you wish to bake on. In this case we are going to use a low poly version. Press Create Boundary. If you wish to bake directly onto itself you can leave the visibility on. In this case however we want to see the model underneath. We can now drag in the viewport to cover most of our mesh, like so. And use any of the tools to make sure it covers nicely. Anything that falls outside the boundary will be rendered as black. Try to avoid 90-degree corners, and keep the mesh relatively smooth. Once you have a complete cover we can move on by pressing Next. Before tweaking the settings, we can do a quick bake to see if it works. A progress bar is visible in the bottom corner. We can go back to tweak the boundary at any time by clicking Adjust. It's important the UVs are clean and non-intersecting. You might find yourself going back and forward until the bake output is correct. If you wish to do a preview, you must save it by giving it a pathway like so. After the bake is done, press Preview. Rebake, Close, or Adjust will all get you out of the preview mode. In order to bake out an ambient occlusion, you have to select all of your render mesh and press the button. Hit Bake and Preview and we can see our result directly. As you can see the 90-degree corners on the model come out rather weird. This we will have to clean up by hand. The other two functions work the same way. You can bake out any material to use as a map for the low poly version. For example, you can have your render materials display a specific map used in the render, like normal, height, diffuse, and bake them out one by one. Here we display all the normal map information the render uses. The hairs did not have a normal map. This area is therefore blank, but we can try to combine it with the world space normal map we baked out earlier.